It's midnight. Alright, stop recording. I don't want to record this. There's so much footage my computer would explode. Let's go ahead and get YouTube set up. Alright, I need to go here to manage Skeletower stream free. Turn that on. Save. Share. Wait, did not save? Okay, it did save. Share, copy the video link. I'm gonna set this to away really quickly and send it to the cool people on Discord. Like I thought, it starts in the wrong Discord. Or it starts Discord in the wrong window, I mean. It starts me in the right place in Discord though. Stream notifications at notification squad. What message should I send to them today? To the cool people in the Discord who have notifications turned on. I said tower stream last time. So I'm gonna say skelt stream this time. I did not hit a space, so it thought it was part of a link. Skel. I'm just gonna say Skel. That's all I'm gonna say because it's funny. Skel. All right, there we go. I think it switches back to programming. And yeah, welcome everyone to Skeletower. Again, welcome, welcome. It is time for skeleton. Funny skeleton, haha, I'm dead moment. Last time we left off, we got most of the animations done, the procedural stuff. You can now switch from rig to procedural pretty seamlessly. It's not perfect, obviously. Well, I'd say for the most part it works pretty well. Obviously, the rigged animations aren't done. But if you explode, it goes ahead and transfers over. The main problem right now, and the first thing I'm going to try to fix this stream is this. When you go ahead and self-destruct like this, as you can see, the bones are flying around. Isn't that crazy? They're going towards the heart. Obviously, right now it's just a sphere, but they're going towards it. And then they're supposed to start, expanding outward to form the ring. They don't do that. They're just staying in place and then snap. They then are in place. Why this is, I don't know. However, obviously, this is a problem. Other than that, the ring feels pretty dynamic. It follows your player, the other player around, and it pretty seamlessly goes ahead and does that. It breaks apart and comes back together pretty well. So for the most part, it looks pretty good, but obviously there's problems. Also, ricochets don't work either. Well, they work, but they don't look right. The visuals are not correct yet. So that's going to be another thing that we're going to do early on in the stream. So yeah, that is the goals. So let's get started, I guess. First of all, why the hell is it broken? That's the first question we need to figure out. So let's go ahead and head into Visual Studio. So the way it's working right now is if I go into my player controller, what should be happening is down here in end wait, which is essentially what happens at the end of each time segment. Or actually, I can start off by debugging it. I'll rubber dug debug it. In fixed update, no, in update, if we are holding down. So when we self-destruct, what it does is it goes ahead and sets a tween and a wait to execute. It starts moving the heart, and then it sets a time for the heart to be merged. It also sets a timer for the bones to go from, or it starts a timer to tell the bones to start merging from just exploding. Then it goes ahead and does a whole bunch of stuff for each bone, sets its basic information. Then that basically lets it explode. Then when we get down here, we have pull bones, which is where it tells it, hey, bones, you've exploded. Now go towards the heart. So for each bone, it goes ahead and starts moving its position. Okay, yeah, it starts moving its position towards the heart. Then it goes ahead and it sets its state to being pulled. Then, when you get down here, it also starts setting a timer for the bone pulling to end. That way it can start, making the ring. So then it should be calling this. I think I see the problem though. Wait. No, it is calling a wait to execute. This is the same equation as up here, so they should be taking the same time. I was thinking that might be the option. That might be the problem. So for pull bones end, it's going ahead and for each bone and bones, it's stopping the tween first, making sure that it's actually stopped. And then it goes ahead and tries to tween its position. I'm just making sure there isn't two tweens going on at once. However, obviously this is not working. Why that is, I don't know. So first of all, let's make sure this is actually running. We're going to go ahead and put a debug statement here. Debug.log. I'm just going to say foo, and then I'm going to put current time plus time dot current time, or probably just time. Yeah. Let's see what happens now. Now this should be called once when we go ahead and start, when the pulling should end and it should start forming the ring, and it does. And as you can see, when we do it again, time updates. So let's go ahead and see what happens frame by frame, because now we can actually see the exact frame where it stops. 9.5. So right here, it's done. However, okay, I'm not zoomed in enough, so let's go ahead and do this. If you zoom in one direction, you can then make it so your sensitivity turns down like that. It's really stupid that there's not an easier way to do it. I don't think there is. There probably is, but whatever. That's besides the point. Anyway. So, at this point, these bones should be trying to go here. This is interesting. You can see that the skull parent is right here. Why is there a box right here? What is that? Okay, it appears to be the skin mesh renderer. So this is where the actual bone is, which I guess makes sense because the bone is part of the heart has the armature. The heart is a part of the body, and the body has the armature on it. It's just that the heart's the only thing that remains visible, so that actually does kind of make sense. Whoops. So that's why the skin mesh renderer is doing what it's doing. Next question. Why is it not moving to the right location? Like, it goes here. All the parts of the body are here. When really they should be going out to where they need to go, right? So why is this? It is doing a right stop here. So we know it is calling this at the right time, and we know that it's hitting this. So for each bone and bones, which should be the same as here, it is tweening the position of the parents, and it is saying wait to execute. Wait. Okay, yeah, this is stop tween, not stop wait. So that should be correct. Is there another underlying tween? No. There shouldn't be. I want to see something. I want to make sure the parenting is still, when you go ahead and break apart, that there's absolutely no parent. It's not like you just get reconnected to the other thing's parent, to your original parent, I mean, now that you've reached a heart. You shouldn't. There's no way you should, but I just want to see. So at this point, oh, I didn't save. Whatever. But yeah, you can clearly see that each of these things are clearly still separate. They don't have a parent. Well, besides the actual parent, but that's besides the point. The parent is the thing that's moving, I should say. So why is it doing this? Why is it snapping? So why is it snapping? I still can't wrap my head around it. Now, if I was guessing, the thing is that it's not actually stopping the tween, which is possible. Doesn't make sense, but it might be possible. I don't know. So I mean, it's definitely hitting stop tween. There's no way it's not hitting stop tween. Actually, let's try this first. This should answer my question. If I go ahead and remove this tween right here, then it should have nothing to worry about. Because now, it won't pull initially, instead it'll only have the pull message from here. It will only have the pull message from the release. Okay, that's way funkier than I was expecting. I have no idea why it's doing it now. Like, what? Like, sometimes it's crawling towards it. What if I switched them? Yeah, it's not exploding at all now. What the hell? I have no idea what's causing this. Like, it should just be in free fall for most of the time, but instead it's getting pulled still. Like, bam, then it should be in free fall. Bam, it should be in free fall. Bam, it should be in free fall. That's it's like weird. What the hell? Reach, bone and bones, just transform dot set bone state to pull. Oh, it's still setting the bone state to pulled. Okay, that explains it. The problem is, the reason it was looking all glitchy was because it still sets the bone state to pulled, which removes all of the force added to it. I never set the bone state here. Let's see if that's part of it. If I set the bone animator, the bone state, when I set it to pulled, I just changed it. Okay, I see it. Ooh. Why is this here? This explains it. This right here explains it. First of all, when is this being done? Of course, it's being done before. Let's see what that does. Something tells me this will probably fix that glitch. I probably had that in there for testing. I can't tell if it's actually working or not. It looks like it might be working, actually. No. It definitely is not. Right, no, tween is happening first. So that other tween actually shouldn't be going through. Because in tween I actually have this. But that explains why I was glitching out before as well. Because when you actually tween something, like if I tween position, it does this check first, which it goes through all the other tweening objects and says if it's the same object and if the type that it's tweening is the same type, basically you try to override the tween, then it just doesn't do it. So that second tween actually wasn't going through. So yeah, that explains why it didn't fix the problem, because the first tween is the only one that matters. But it explains why when I broke it, it broke. Let's try turning off tweening now. I just want to see. I think this might look more natural. It'll be in freefall. It does. And if I go ahead and watch this, the bones explode, and then they fly, and they go to the right place. As you see, it works, kind of. Might be a little bit too fast, honestly. Like, even when it's just really close, it still looks a little weird. But that might be because it's not being pulled in first. It's, you know, having a lot more time to explode. So, it is calling this. Alright? I think the best way to confirm this, that it's not working, is... My guess is that stop tween isn't working. That's my guess. Why it's not working, I don't know. Because, you know, stop tween, you know, it just takes in the object and it takes in the tween type and it goes through every object that can be tweened and just double checks, oh, does this game object equal it? And does the tweening object equal it? Equal the type. Let's just, there should be a really easy way to check. When I go into tween value for each, if it actually sees it, I'm going to make a debug statement. Debug.log foo. If this gets called, then I'll know it's the problem with the stop. I assume it should be called. And that should be my problem. And I'm right. It calls foo. Not only does it call foo, if I go ahead and pause it at the right time, it should be foo at basically the same point. No foo, no foo, no foo, and then foo. It's foo right now. Which tells me I was correct. So the stop function is not actually working. Why is it working then? I'm using equal equal here. Now, dot equals might be my problem. It shouldn't be though, because I'm passing in the same game object. But maybe that is it. It doesn't really make sense, but it might be it. Either that, or I might be using it incorrectly. However, I doubt that's the case. First, let's go ahead and see player controller again. I just want to see something. If we look into this, comparing the stop tween and the tween position, I am passing in bone.transform.parent.gameObject in both, and then I'm also here I'm passing in tween type position, and here I'm obviously using tween position. So that should be correct. And that's value to tween 2. So yeah, these aren't important. So in that case, I would say most like maybe that's it. Maybe 2 enums using dot equals doesn't do that. Still, that's weird. Like if I have a dot enum, wait, is that it? If I have an enum foo and an enum bar, and they're both of type foo bar, and they both have foo as their identity, or they're both item 0. If I use dot equal, if I say foo dot equal bar, will that give me true or false? Technically, they're 2 separate variables. However, they have the same value. I don't know. That might be my issue. In that case, let's try this. Let's go into tween, the stop execution or stop tween. Now we know that this, first of all, let's go ahead and walk this code. We take in the game object and we take in the tween type. Oh, and I return this. Sure. I return the time remaining. Do I use that at all? I do not. Maybe I use that somewhere else. I don't know. So for each of these tweening objects and tweening objects, I'm comparing it. I'm saying if it equals or not. Now, if it doesn't equal, then I go ahead and move on to the next object. And I check if that one's equal. And if its tweening type equals, obviously, the other type. So I guess the first thing that we can try, honestly, it's probably something I should have tried a while ago, is just saying equal equal instead. Since that worked above, maybe it's dot equals being stupid or something. Doesn't like it here, which is interesting. Good news, I found a bug. I figured it out. Right here I'm using tweening object. This is a struct, a tweening object. I'm not using the game object inside of it. So I'm comparing a tweening object to a game object. Obviously those aren't going to work. It'll never be equal because they're 2 separate types. What value do I need? I think it's probably game object if I'm guessing. Here. If tweening object.game object. Yeah. Alright, I'm stupid. And now it works. I am almost certain it will work now. And just like that, it works. And it actually looks pretty good. I'm actually pretty happy with that, honestly. When you're a little bit farther away, it definitely looks a little funkier, but I mean, the other option is make it based off of distance, make it take longer if you're farther away, and I think that would be less fun. Alright, this is something I also want to change. I want to add a little bit of, I want to add like an extra frame where if you press up and then right at the same time, you have an extra frame of leniencies to get a diagonal input. Because right now you only have, it's like the same instantaneous frame, which makes it a little bit more difficult. Why, hello there, Travis. Glad you could make it. Thank you for joining us. As you can see, I have figured out the bug. You're gonna come back in a little bit. All right, have a good one. But yeah, this looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now we have to fix this. You might notice a problem. The problem is that we just don't have ricochet in here. We never implemented stuff for when ricochets occur. And we can pretty easily fix that. Um, First of all, when we go down here into try dash, here we go ahead and actually set all this stuff. We set the tween, we set the tween position, yada yada yada. So what we should do is first, if the raycast actually hits. Oh, welcome back. That was fast. So what I'm working on now is ricochets, because right now the animations break when I ricochet. As you can see, yeah, the other skeleton doesn't turn back into a bunch of bones. Now there's two types of ricochets. There's far ricochets and then there's near ricochets. Far ricochets are like this, where you still are a decent way around apart from the wall. But then when you're right next to the wall, then it's an instantaneous ricochet. It's literally just a raycast for that. So because I have those two different types of ricochets, I'll have to do two different checks basically, but that's not that big of a deal. So what I can do is this. I can go ahead and here, when I go ahead and hit collider, compare ground, hit ground true, end wait, heart ricochet complete. So when this happens, I can just go ahead and stop these tweens. So I should be able to say tween, or actually I need to do this for each bone, which isn't that big of a deal. For each bone, or game object bone. You've been lazy with your pixel art? That's unfortunate. I've honestly never been that good at pixel art. Also, I'm using the wrong for each. That's why it's being stupid. Don't worry, I'll fix that in just a second. I'm using the dumb for each. There's the right for each. So for each of these, I need to say tween.stop execution, or stop tween actually. And then I need to pass in the game object, which is... Got any ideas? I like your little rock dude. I saw the pixel art for him. Stuff in the same vein as that. I don't know. Like, obviously you could make generic, like, enemies based off of materials. Like, you could have a wood enemy or something that's like a tree stump with little legs. But I don't know if that's too generic. So stop tween, and then the game object we need to put in is bone.transform.parent. And then I need to put in a tween type. So tween type, and then, well, I guess we have both a position and a scale. I'm actually gonna go ahead and move the position above the scale thing because I feel like that's just a nicer order of operations here. Elements, nice idea. I feel like it's a little generic, but I don't know. It might work. I mean, you don't have to reinvent the wheel for this. Make an element chart. Alright, so we have... I mean, if you do use elements, you could go ahead and actually like use like elements. You could have like a metal one that's iron. You could have mercury one that's actually liquid or something. But then you're running into slimes, so I guess that's not what you want. It might be difficult to tell some of them apart because a lot of, elements are just gray. Look at this metal. It is gray because it's metal. Isn't that crazy? But then you have stuff like copper, which is easily recognizable. Who knows? I'm not sure how many enemies you need in a game. Alright, so first of all, this should solve these. Oh wait, no it doesn't. It just stops those scales. I also have to set the bone state. Bone dot transform dot parent dot get component bone animator. Then you say dot set bone status. And then I'm going to say bone state dot, and obviously it's going back into being rigged, so I guess I'll say rigged. Oh wait, no. It's not going to be rigged. It's going to immediately be spin. What am I saying? I'm stupid. Fused. Let's see if this solves near ones. Kind of. The skin mesh is still here, unfortunately. It is leaving the... It's leaving that. Now, one thing I am thinking about is I kind of wanted to zoom in and zoom out again. Because when you just ricochet off, like there's no sort of visual cue that that's what you're doing. And how can I distinguish it? Like, you can't really distinguish it from a wall jump, I don't think. Well, besides the speed that you get. So I want to have some actual, like, way of showing that. Also, if I go into Bone Animator, if I go into Free, that's when it turns off the Skin Mesh Renderer. So what I think I'll do is just copy these over. Copy them over to pulled. Alright, so now we need to do this. If we go back to player controller, I think I'm going to set it to pulled. Now, I want it to pull bones. Oh wait, no, I just want to call pull bones. Basically. I'll just try calling respawn pull. And that actually does set the tween here. So I don't think I actually need this. Because it sets the bone state here, right? Yeah, it sets a bone state there. So what I should be able to do is I should be able to just say here, end weight, and then I need to just say pull bones. Let's see, does that work? I think it's the right key. I should really use an enumerator, to be honest. So let's see what that does. I'm not sure if it'll entirely work, but it might. Um, It appears to have some trouble. Failed to load XML documentation. What? What? Where is it trying to load XML? Why is it trying to load XML? Alright, never mind, I guess. Alright, so why is it breaking here? First of all, what's going on? So when I go ahead and do this, it does just shrink. First of all, this still works normally, so it's just a ricochet. I think that's the problem. The problem is it's not recentering, it's not reparenting on, like, normally it reparents, I think. Does it? No. These still are not reparented. However, is player 1 still underneath here? Yes, player 1 is still a child of this. So why is it not doing what it's supposed to be? I guess that doesn't actually matter. But for some reason it's not tracking. Also, I keep on getting this should not be capturing when there's a hot control. I don't know why it's giving me this warning. So for some reason, it's going to pull bones. And, you know, it is pulling it. Is the problem is that the heart's not moving? When heart merged, for each bone, set the state to fused. Why isn't it working, though? Is it rotating? I didn't really see. No, it's not spinning around. So despite it being in the fused state, it's not actually fused, or something like that. Which begs the question, why is it not actually fused? It's in the position like it's fused, but it's not actually, you know, moving around. It's not tracking its position. Should be setting this pulled. I guess it's never setting the state to free, which is interesting. But that shouldn't matter. It should be going from pulled to fused, which just enables the... No, it disables the collider. It sets that to true. And then it sets the velocity to 0. Sets the local scale to 1, sure. And then it goes ahead and while it's fused, it's constantly moving it. Transform that position equals get fused target position. And get fused target position is this. I guess the real question is, how does this change? How is this different from the other thing, from when you normally start? Because normally when you try to self-destruct, it's a very set sort of thing. Maybe there's something there I'm missing. So when I self-destruct, does all this stuff. It says player state to dead, player rigid body velocity vector 0, sure. Is kinematic to true, player collider enabled to false. Tween position is wait. Hold on. Down here. First of all, am I still... Does the mesh render ever get fixed? Oh, I guess it does, actually. Yeah, there's no overlaying mesh render. So it actually does get fixed. Alright, so... You self-destruct. Sets your state to dead. Sets the velocity to that. Player rigid body is kinematic to true. Turns off your collider. It starts tweening the position to the other player. It says wait to execute heart merged. And wait to execute pull bones. So it's waiting to execute heart merged, which is interesting. Maybe heart merged does something that I'm not thinking about. Because it's just calling pull bones. Sets these bone parents to transform parent equal null. That stays consistent, that's fine. Sets the state to free, but that'll get overridden later. It sets the transform position to there it's setting all the positions to the normal stuff. So far it's going good. That's good to hear. It adds the explosion force. So that's all the explosion stuff, but we don't care about that. The important thing, I think, is that heart merge doesn't get called a second time. And in heart merged, because it's just calling ricochet. Ah, because heart merged doesn't get called, the bones don't get set to fused. They get set to pull, but they never get set to fused. So that's why they're spinning around. They make it to their location, but they don't have anything to do after that. Now, when normally you have a ricochet complete, I guess I can just throw on a heart merged at the end of heart ricochet complete. So yeah, at the end of heart ricochet complete, we can just say heart merged. In that case, we can actually probably just replace all this with heart merged. Let me see if I can. Now we can do it here. I need to say end wait, I think. That's what I called it. Yeah, end wait. If I do that, I can then say heart merged. And now I should be able to just say I can remove all this because this all gets set in heart merged. And just like that, now it should actually work, I think. No. And this is back now. What the hell? Now it's setting the state diffused. Oh, wait. I see. Okay. So the problem is now that I'm doing it in the incorrect order. I'm end waiting first, which is triggering this, which is then triggering this, which this happens first, then this happens, where it adds the dash, and then it's going ahead and doing stuff to the bones. That is actually a problem. That means making the shrink in and shrink out is more difficult than I thought. Because that's a separate event from the heart being merged, because the heart being merged is going to happen anyways. I also need to think about what happens when you have a normal ricochet. Wait, what am I doing? Why am I setting all this? I could be setting it to shrink instead. Does shrink start tweening it as well? I'm not sure. No, shrink doesn't actually tween it. Okay. So I have to think, am I going to... I really want the thing to shrink. I mean, doesn't it normally? Yeah, it sets this to shrink and it starts doing all this stuff. Oh wait, no, it does this here. What am I... this is... I might have made my code a little too complicated. You finished? Nice. Alright, so for each game object bone in bones, it goes ahead and immediately starts shrinking. And it does this by setting its state to shrink. Also, end weight pull bones. I stopped the tweening here. Do I ever have a weight? I don't think I do. What's the purpose of his end weight? Plant, fire, water, earth, ice, poison. Neat. I don't get it. why do I have this end weight here? Oh, wait, no. This is calling it like a method. I'm stupid. I guess it shouldn't be calling pull bones then. I guess I could make a custom thing that goes ahead and shrinks it and then sizes it just for this. I guess it's going to shrink either way. Well, it stops the tween there. Well, I guess I could have two cases. So when you go ahead and you only pull out paint. So I'm guessing I need two cases. One where you're instantaneous. So it's instantaneous, you're right here, you're by a wall. Here, the bones should go ahead and should immediately fly in, and then they should immediately fly out. Back to their original positions, basically. Plant beats water, ground, fire beats plants and ice, water beats fire and earth, earth beats fire and poison, ice beats plant and water, poison beats water and plant. Okay. Standard rock, paper, scissors. So yeah. I need this. Now, unfortunately, so this means I don't actually want to stop the tween of the shrink, and instead I want to have it call basically a separate thing that at the end of it will go ahead, after shrink is done, we'll then go ahead and send the element back out, or send the bone back out, and then I need to have something after that's done which actually reinstates the spin. So it's a 3-step process, essentially. Also, that's a terrible arrow. So the other option is you're farther away from the wall. In this case, you have, first of all, before anything, the bone goes ahead and starts going out, or starts going in. In this case, it is shrink. Then there should be a point where it gets to rigged, actually. When is that? So when you normally try dash, you set its state to shrink. You tween, you dash. Is there like an end? Do you start a tween or tween.wait? If not, hit ground. Here we go. Tween, wait to execute this dash complete. And in dash complete, this is where I go ahead and set your state to rigged again. So here it goes ahead and starts shrinking. And when you're shrinking, it sets both states to on, right? I'm pretty sure it does. When you're in shrink, it enables both, wait. No, it disables the collider. And it turns on the is kinematic. So it just stops it from bouncing around. But that's physics. But it turns on the skin mesh renderer, and this is coming from fused, which means is it has the normal mesh renderer on. So this has both of them on. Then when you get to rigged, at this point you're flying out. Then when you collide with a wall, then you should go ahead and enter probably, I want to say pull. But honestly, like you're already so close, you could probably enter end pull. You could probably enter end pull. So you enter end pull, and then you're back to where you started. But I have an end pull function. Why am I not using that? Okay. So can I just use end pull instead? No, because end pull doesn't actually set the stuff. Well, why doesn't it? Well, end pull is telling it to go back to where it needs to go, which means I need something after end pull to do that. So I have pull bones end. I kind of want to rename this. Can I? Cannot. You must rename an identifier? What? Alright, I guess not. In that case, maybe I won't rename it. I don't know. You know, I'm just gonna make something called set bones fused. Case set bones fused. That sounds weird. Welcome to the stream, Fate. This is Skeletower. It's a game where you play as a skeleton and you and your goal is to climb the tower. Right now I'm making the transition from rigged to procedural animations and back. Right now it's definitely still buggy, and that's why I'm working on it. But yeah, you play as two skeletons and you can do all this cool stuff. So right now I'm trying to fix the ricochet command so it looks correctly. So what I'm going to do is basically the heart merged. I'm going to do this section of it. There we go. And it sets each of those to fused. Now what I have to do is I have to make it so pull bones end sets it to fused. Which shouldn't be that bad. I should be able to just say tween dot wait to execute, and then I'm going to wait to execute. Oh wait, I have to pass in this game object or this script, and then I have a string set bones fused. And now time to wait is going to be the same as this. Tween position, respawn time pull end. I am making the game. That is true. And just like that. Now I can call this, or now when I call end pull bones, it will work. So here, when I call end heart ricochet complete, oh, I can just call this. I can now wait to execute end pull bones for after the pull bones timers, or after the shrink timer is over. Because I set a timer here for the shrink timer. for dash complete. Wait, no. Shrink. Oh, yeah. Oh, is that for dash time? I feel like that's a little too... Oh, wait. No, dash time's really fast, so it should be okay. So now what I should be able to do is right here, I can say end wait. Actually, no, I need to say tween dot wait to execute. And now we're going to be waiting on this. And then we're going to be saying the string key is going to be not hit. What's the key? I want it to pull bone's end. I want it to pull it to its position. Make a black hole. I mean, if I had a space level, maybe. Is the game you're making out? No, it is clearly in like pre-alpha. I am gonna hopefully start making the first real level today, though. Considering it's early. It's pretty early in the night. Then time to wait is going to be dash time. Which I guess means I can actually stop this. I don't actually need to do this. Because I actually do want it to shrink. Now, pull bone's end doesn't actually do anything on its own. It doesn't set the state to, yeah, it doesn't set the state to pulled. I should be able to change that because setting its state to pulled doesn't actually do anything. Like, it changes these variables, but it doesn't actually, like, stop your velocity or anything. So I should be able to just throw in this here. Make enemies that can kill you? Oh my gosh, really? I was gonna make enemies that don't. In all seriousness, I have thought of one enemy design that I'm gonna put in the second level. Honestly, to make it a little less confusing, I think I'm just gonna call it the first level. I'm gonna call level 2 level 1, and I'm gonna call level 1 level 0 because the first, because level 0, as I'm going to call it now, doesn't have both skeletons. So in the first real level, I'm going to have an enemy called, or I'm going to have an enemy anchovy that spawns from giant, like, wall-mounted anchovy cans. And it's just an anchovy with legs. It's just going to run around. Perhaps might lock onto you, I don't know. But I thought of the design, so it'll be pretty easy to implement. Alright, I have absolutely no idea how much I've broken this now, so let's see. Let's see how broken it is. Alright, that still works, that's good. And a ricochet. That didn't work because it wasn't close enough. If I go ahead and pause, I hit the wrong direction. I need to hit left. I did not hit. Come on. Honestly, that doesn't look too bad. It like stutters a little bit, which is honestly fine. Maybe I should make it quicker though. Yeah, maybe I'll divide it by 2. Make it just so it's even faster. Honestly, that'll be fine, I think. So now what I need to do is, if I'm going to do that, I actually do need to do this. I need to stop the tweening here. And then I need to basically retween it. For now, I'll just make it so it's half as long. Wait, no. I have to leave both of these in. and I'll make these half as long. Divide by 2.0 f divided by 2.0 f and then divided by 2.0 f. Obviously I could change this later, but this is just a nice half measure right now. We'll just change my name. Fatelol. That still feels pretty snappy. Now we have to make it so actually sending out the guy works as well. That shouldn't be that hard though. All it essentially means is that we need to, when we actually ricochet, we basically do the same thing. Which honestly, we should be able to just say case pull end, case pull bones end. So when we're in here in fixed update, if player rigid body sys is walking, okay. Case state normal. I want case dashing. Where's case dashing? Maybe it's an update. Yeah, it is. Which is interesting. Why is it an update instead of fixed update? I'll change that in a minute, I guess. Tween, wait to execute. Tween position. Okay, that's all that. So here I'm going to go ahead and say tween. Or no, I'm just going to say and wait. And wait. This, comma. Oh wait, no, wrong thing. That's for actually tweening it. Here I just want to say, I think it's pull end, pull bone end, pull bones end. I really need to change that to a numerator. That works better. Now, if you can store your disbelief, it actually looks pretty good. The flicker kind of, like, at least once you should probably hit the wall farther away so you can tell that it's actually pushing you back. I think it should be okay. At the very least, I think this is a good starting point for it. So nice. I would say the next step is to make it so... what's next, actually? Def? I think def is next. Maybe. Oh, wait, no, I want... Right now, I think my next step is going to be... easier dashing. Also, first I wanted to try this. Case dashing. Why is this in here? Why is it in fixed update? Or in regular update instead of fixed update? I'm just going to try moving it here. See what happens. I don't think it'll break anything. Yeah, doesn't really change anything. All it means is that it's not calculating physics every single like less than a frame. It's doing it a lot less, which should help performance. So yeah, I think that'll be good. Also, before we move on, I think I'm going to go ahead and add a couple more platforms, because why not? This is a pretty barren wasteland right now. So we'll go ahead and duplicate one of these, move this up. Put this over here. Let's go ahead and add in this, which I do think is going to be an actual challenge in the game at some point. A area like this. This might be a little bit too far away, actually. Yeah, we'll make something like this. Just, you know, add a little bit more space to mess around in. So you can still make your way up here. This needs to be moved up a little bit, it would appear. Let's go ahead and chop off some of these numbers. Hold up. All of these things are in minus 1.5. Wait. That would explain that. Set that to 0. You can also go ahead, move all this down a little bit. Move it over to the right. But now all these values are weird. Whatever. I'll mess with this later, I guess. Let's see, does it still have trouble getting over the ledge? It does. That's so funny. .99. Alright, how about .90? 89. Alright, that looks fine to me. No, it's not. 90 it is. 91. Not 0.1, I said 91. There we go. That should be okay. I'm not having a dumb, stupid little wall here that you have to jump over every time you want to get up. So yeah, now you can run over that ledge. Nicer for testing, you know. So yeah, one puzzle that I'm definitely going to have is that you can go up one way. Something like this where you can go up here and then jump over. And then I'll have a secret way down here where you can go ahead and actually like wall jump your way up. Something like that. something where you actually have to do something like that. I don't know. I think that'll be a little tricky. A nice little challenge. Won't be that hard, I don't think. But we'll see. There we go. Is that point still there? Obviously, right now, you can just get up here by just doing one of these. That's another thing that I'll have to add is wall detection, so you can have animations of sliding down the wall. Alright, so yeah, let's add in that now. Let's make it so it is easier to, so it's easier to do the thing. It's easier to aim your dashes. So what I'm going to do is, when you are fused, get input controller if this is this. So here it's end wait try dash. And then when you actually try the dash, it does it, right? Down here, try dash. See, here it actually detects it, right? Hit attempts dash, circle, otherwise it goes ahead and sets your state to dashing. Get every player, transform that position. And yeah, so here it starts your dash. So all we have to do is this. All we really need to do is this. Just change it from an end wait to a tween. So we should be able to just say tween dot try dash or tween dot wait to execute. This, then the key is going to be try dash try dash, and then the time is going to be 0. Let's just see if 0 makes it any better first. It should make it at least wait to the next frame, depending on the order of how things are executed. If it isn't, I'll just put in a really small number. Then it'll wait 1 frame. And it still feels a little awkward. Like, I'm inputting diagonal there, and sometimes it's some direction, sometimes it isn't. So, I'm going to make this a really small value. I'm going to say 0.001 f. Actually, I'm just going to say minimum float value. Actually, I think that's going to be, no. I think that would actually not work. I think that'd be a negative number. So I'll just say something really small, like 0.001 seconds. Honestly, I can add another 0. You know, it can handle milliseconds. So this is 1 millisecond. So essentially, you have a millisecond to do this, which, because it should be waiting, basically means it should be a frame, guaranteed. Yeah, now I'm not missing it at all. It is a frame of input lag, I guess, technically, but I don't think it's crucial. I think it's better to be able to input diagonal stuff accurately than 1 frame. So yeah, pretty cool. It is still possible to miss a diagonal input, but it's, you know, nicer now. This actually feels competent, which is good. I wonder if I can make this jump. You know, because you have such a robust moveset, there might be ways to do moves like that. I'm actually going to add another platform right here, just so you can do it. I'm going to do this. I'm just going to put this right here. And just like that. Now if you go up here, also you can save yourself like that. This truly is a busted move, but obviously it'll make for harder platforming challenges. Also, you know, I've practiced this move before because I made the game, obviously. But yeah, cool. Like, even just messing around in this playground, I can tell this feels like a good game. This feels like a good moveset. It's definitely an improvement over what I've done from what I had in the past. Especially, like, coming off of Tethered. The animations, like, they're obviously not complete. Especially the rigged animations aren't. But these procedural animations actually feel pretty competent. I'm not sure how YouTube is doing with the processing of it. There's probably some lag there. Not to mention, this is, you know, debug mode. It's not rendered out. So the final game will be better. Also, I like that quick wall jump. That's actually kind of an unintentional, being able to slide down. That's just because of Unity's physics engine. But the quick wall jumping, that just feels nice. It feels like the Blob, actually. It's like, I don't know why that's the first thing that comes to my mind, but the Blob. Let me see if I can find a video of it. No, I'm not going to find a video of it. I'll post it in a Discord after the stream. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. Alright, let's implement dying. I think that's the next obvious step, to have something that can actually kill you. Oh wait, actually first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to disable the heart when you are fused. Not in any other state, but when you're fused, I want to turn off the heart. And the reason I want to turn off the heart when you're fused is because, or when you're merged, I should say, is because right now there's 2 hearts, and only one of them needs to exist to have all the animations of the other. All I really need to do is send a signal to the other heart that, hey, I have merged with you, do this animation. So yeah, in heart merge, I'm just going to turn off heart. Heart dot game object dot enabled dot set active. False. Then in try dash, I can turn it on. Assuming that I actually don't hit ground immediately. I did say, yeah, that's hard. Heart dot set active true. Boom, got that. So now I should not have a heart. Or there should only be 1 heart. Should be able to check because in player 1, yeah, heart's disabled. And as you can see, it's right here. It's in the same location, actually. You can't see it. But anyway, if I go ahead and dash out, now the heart should be here. And as you can see, it is. Alright, that was just a minor thing that I wanted to do. When I actually create the heart's animations, then I'll go ahead and change that as well. But that can wait for when I actually make the animations. So yeah, now let's implement die. First of all, we need a... Let's go ahead and make a folder for enemies. enemies. In terms of hazard types, I guess we should probably have multiple. Well, I guess there's no such thing as damage in this, so there's just kill. I do need to go ahead and create a new tag, I think, because right now player has obviously a player tag. I need to create a danger tag or something. Tag, add tag. We have ice, we have ground. Why is tag 0 ice? I don't know. Anyway, new tag. We're gonna make I don't want to call it dead or hurt. I don't know what's a good name for it. No, I could do something silly, but I'm on camera. I could call it something funny though, but I don't want to get demonetized, so I'm not going to. How about hazard? There we go. Hazard only has 1Z, right? I'm not being dumb, I don't think. Yeah, hazard only has 1Z. So I'm right. Alright, well, let's make a hazard. Let's also rename this to hazards. So here I'm going to go ahead and let's start with a default hazard. Let's go ahead and add in, not underground parent, obviously. Whatever, we'll just add in a cube, whatever. Actually, let's not add in a cube. What's a better shape? I don't want to add in just a cube. Yeah, I'll add in a cylinder. Why not? I'm feeling crazy today. Alright, so first thing I want to do is reset its position because it's way out in the distance for some reason. Also, this song is cool. So yeah, we'll put this up here. So what do I need to do? First of all, get rid of the capsule collider. Remove component. We need to give this a 2D capsule collider. Not falling for that trick again. Get wrecked. Haha. Get absolutely bamboozled. I love Unity sometimes, especially when it does this. This is a lie. I actually don't like it when it does this. I want it to not do this, actually. Alright, I think this is good. Yeah, that's a good enough capsule collider. Honestly, why don't I just use a box collider? Remove component, box collider, 2D. It's a cylinder, which means its cross-section is a box. Oh, god damn it, can this thing just not do that? Alright, whatever. Alright, that works. Wait, why is it offset so much? 5.9? Like, it looks right. Oh. It was off by, like... It had, like, E on there. That was not really set. Alright, whatever. So tag, we're going to set it to hazard. All right. So now we're going to make it so if you touch a hazard, you die for real. If the case state is normal, if this, I don't care. If self-destruct detected. And this is update. I'll only check this in fixed update. I don't want to check it too often. So if my player state is normal, if current ground type equals player ground type, what are the ground types? Oh, air, ground, ice, and player, because that's what's determining how fast you can move. Well, I guess I should set this to a trigger, not a normal hitbox. You should be able to go through this. I'm not sure what I'm going to do about actual like breakable obstacles, if those should be triggers or not. I'm pretty sure if I turn it into a trigger, it just doesn't have any collision at all, so I think I have to use a collider for most things. But for this, because I want you to be able to go through it normally, yeah, normally you can go through it, so trigger is correct for enemies or hazards. Then again, you're going to die the moment you touch it, so not really. You can't really touch it, but whatever. So anyway, fixed update. Set ground variable, so that's just setting that. Do I really need to set ground variable every frame? Starts this here. Current ground, if it's air, it's that. Ground normal, vector 2.0. Because it's checking. Yeah, this only really matters if your state's normal. So if your state's normal, I guess I could go ahead and do a box cast that just on my player's model. Or there might be something that can detect if I'm already in a trigger. I wouldn't be surprised if that's an actual method that already exists. I mean, I have a box collider on my character, so I should be able to use it. Yeah, I have this box collider. So player velocity, yada yada yada. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you self-destruct. Oh wait, that's done an update because that's that. Never mind. I should probably make this a method. Oh, but I have to check if I'm SD or not. I can make that a thing. Yeah, why don't I just do that? I'm gonna do it. Just gonna take all of this, and I'm gonna make it its own method. Um, so down here in self-destruct detected, I'll say private void player respawn or player die. That sounds too immature. I'll think of a better name in a minute. But first I just want to get it to actually work first. No, I can call it respawn. And then I need to take in a bool self-destruct. Then up here, yeah, right here, I can say respawn. Player respawn, I mean. And self-destruct, that's going to be true here. Now what I can do is, or actually I can take in a float instead. That'll just make it easier. Float, self-destruct, or respawn time. Respawn time. Respawn time. Respawn time. Position. So up here, now I need to change this to respawn time SD. There we go. Now what I can do is down here in fixed update, switch player state, current normal. Now what I can do is I can say, I can essentially do a box cast, or I should be able to use my box collider. Do I have a reference to it? Physics values. No, components. Here it is, player collider. If player collider dot is, no, not is trigger. I want to say is touching. I have to select a specific collider. Is touching layers. Hold up. This only works with layers. Can I say is touching tags? No. Wait, just get the list of all the colliders that are overlapping it. Int collider 2D overlap collider. Is this supposed to be an out? Hold up. I might be able to use this. Keeps on passing the results in. You can't go any deeper. I don't know. So let's see if I do this. If I say, first of all, I can say this. Results, say collider 2D. So I'm going to say collider 2D, array, hits, or I'm going to say player collisions. I'm going to say debug.log, actually, before I say this if statement. Debug.log, player collisions. Zero. Unassigned. Yeah. Why is this yelling at me? Because I don't have this. Overlap collider. So now I need to say contact filter. What's a contact filter? Sets to filter contact results based on. Not sure how to use this. Oh, maybe I can do this. Contact filter. 2D. Dot. No, it's only these. I don't know. .vis maybe? Or vis.contact filter? GameObject.contact filter? No. None of these actually give me a contact filter 2D. Let me see. Overlap, collider, example. Oh, I have to first pass in an array that has some size because it's trying to fill the actual results. Equals new collider 2D array of size 1. Or I'll try to get 10. I'll try to get multiple things it's colliding with. Collider, my collider. Okay, so I can just pass in a new contact filter. Okay. New contact filter, and then I can pass in player collisions. Alright, let's see what this does. So it should be telling me ground, null, ground, null. Ground, ground. Why is it not saying null now? It's only getting stuff when I'm moving. Oh, do I have this only in the move part of this? If current magnitude exists. I see. Take this, we're gonna move it out. There we go. Obviously, we'll probably want to get more than one collision. Ground. Null. Alright, so it is not seeing this, which is interesting. It's seeing the ground, but it's not seeing this barrel. Which is interesting, because it should be seeing it. Let's see what happens if I turn off is trigger. I'm guessing now it'll see it, probably. Yeah, now it's seeing it. It's seeing cylinder. So it's not seeing triggers, which is basically the whole reason I wanted it. Let's try modifying our contact filter because it seemed like that might be it. Contact filter to D or contact filter dot Use triggers. Equals true. There we go. That looks promising. Average bone position. Oh yeah, I guess I just used the first bone. So I can delete that. Get bone transform. It's not the average. Alright. And just like that, now it is detecting the cylinder. It's also detecting the ground. I'm not sure how it detects which one, but it doesn't matter. So this is detecting everything, which is interesting. But that's fine. So how many things could you be overlapping with at once? Like obviously you won't be having like particle effects. I doubt those would count. Maybe you can change what tags it interacts with as well. That would be very helpful. Because if I can set it to just interact with hazards, that would be huge. Contact filter dot tags. Does it like tags? It does not like tags. Maybe filter? I think I saw something. No. Alright, whatever. I'll just have it take in a bunch. I mean, it doesn't really matter if I have a larger array, as long as it's not like excessively large. Because for two things, one, there's only going to be one of these arrays, or a couple of these arrays. I'll make it like, I don't know, 16 long for now. This does mean if you're contacting 16 different things, you might miss something. But like, if one of those things is a hazard, which it probably will be, considering, you know, it's probably going to be a hazard. Yeah, if any of those things are a hazard, this will detect it, and it will do it. It'll do what it has to do. Like, the only thing else that you might come in contact with that isn't a hazard, I don't know. Like maybe some power-ups, but in that case, it'll be basically the same setup. I doubt I'll have power-ups in rooms with, like, I don't think I'm gonna have a power-up like a super mushroom. That doesn't make sense. But I might have a power-up that lasts a whole level, like the shotgun and pizza tower. So those will have the same sort of thing. I'll just have to have a separate thing that says, oh, if the thing I touch is this, do this. If it's not, if it's something else, then do something else. So I'm just gonna have a switch dot or switch. I'm gonna pass in. Oh wait, no, I need to say for each. For each. Player collisions. Yep. Switch collision dot. I don't think I should use get type. Dot get tag collision dot game object dot or not collider dot tag then I can say case. And what does tag return? That returns a string. So case hazard. Did I capitalize it? That's something I need to know. I did capitalize it. I also don't need to have brackets. So in the case that it's a hazard, we do something, break. Default. It just doesn't do anything. I need a way to double break. I have to put it in a bool. Alright, whatever. Bool. Collided. Equals false. I didn't spell this right, right? This doesn't seem right. Did I spell it right? I don't know. No, I actually did spell it right. Did I? Yeah. Okay, I'm not stupid. Not entirely, at least. So when I hit hazard, I can set collided to true. Those guitar chords sounded like the Better Call Saul intro. I'm not crazy, right? No, it was before this. Yeah, that. It's obviously not exact, but that definitely reminds me of Better Call Saul. Bow. Bow, 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 bow. I don't know. It might be that it's 2 in the morning. That's the reason I think of it. So then after this, I can say if collided. Alright, so if I hit a hazard, now we're going to do some stuff. We're going to player respawn. And we're going to put in the respawn time normal. Oh wait, I just realized that if the player's already dead, I actually have to completely restart. Oh, something's wrong. I think it actually opened the wrong thing. Wait, what? Oh, wait. I see. It's looking at every collision in here. And because this is 16. Okay. if collision, also this is off a little bit. So if collision equals null, return, or no, break. There we go. Now if it hits a thing that doesn't have a collision, it will just immediately break. Kind of worked. You should be able to go through it though. Yeah, you can. You don't really get as much force from it. Let me increase the amount of force you get. Also, I'm gonna have to solve that, but we'll do that in a second. First things first, I want to give the bone explosion force more force. Let's try 50. See what that looks like. Okay, that's a little bit too much force, I think. Like, stuff is just clipping through walls and stuff. Seems to calm down a little bit. Yeah, but stuff is definitely clipping through walls. So yeah, 50 is a little too much, I think. Let's set it to 20. It's still twice as much force as before. Also, I'm just going to set this somewhere else. I'm going to put it up here in settable objects, settable values. Forgot to capitalize this. Here in hazards, no, player. Actually, I should be able to just go ahead and click on player here, and then set player. Bone explosion force, we can set that to like 20. All right. Yeah, that's a good amount of force. So I think I know how I'm going to end the stream. First of all, that works. The bone's going flying everywhere. That's good. The slow heart is going to need to be fixed. Because that should actually get stuck for a second. I'll have to do something about that. Anyway, let's see this glitch. So yeah, that's something I'm gonna have to fix. Right now, I don't have any check that says if you die with both characters that you should completely restart. So that's gonna have to be fixed. But I think I'm gonna leave that for tomorrow. So yeah, for now, I'm gonna go ahead, file, save all. And I think I'm gonna end it off here. So yeah, with that, I'd like to say thank you all so much for watching.